I can see him buddying up to fighters that I didn't know Doug in that capacity. So Crosby, right? So we were talking about. So here's how Doug Crosby gets involved in the UFC. Doug Crosby was a stunt coordinator in LA and New York and worked on a bunch of big projects. And John Peretti was a stuntman working in LA and New York. And often Doug Crosby was the one that hired John to some of the gigs. And there was an old HBO series called Oz, which is like a prison
Hmm.
series, one of the early HBO series. And Doug Crosby was a stunt coordinator, and John Peretti he was on the stunt team. He actually, I think he was maybe even more than a stuntman, but he worked that gig. And this is while John was matchmaking for the UFC in New York. So occasionally, John would get some of the guys on as stunt extras or whatever. I know that Jeff Blatnick did it. I think John McCarthy did it. Randy did it. Maybe Frank. And so there's one morning. So my phone rings real early. It's Peretti. Hey, can you take the day off? I said, I don't know what. Why do you want me to take the day off? He said, Oh, well, we need another guy to work stunts. I'm here at Oz Chelsea Studios, which was pretty close to my apartment in Manhattan. He's like, come on down. You want to work the day, get a day rate. It'll be fun. Okay, great, it'll be fun. So I took the day off. I go down to Oz. Go to wardrobe. I was a hack. I was a corrections officer. Had fun. Working with John and Ali Sheedy, who was on The Breakfast Club, famous actress. She was guest
Right.
starring, and one of the guys, the guy that played Vern, he's like won an Oscar for Whiplash, the bald guy, the celebrated actor. So anyway, we do the day. It's fun. At the end of the day, uh, I say John introduces me to Doug Crosby. Hey, this is the guy that hooked us up. This is the guy, the reason you're here. Okay, great. Hey, nice to meet you. Thanks a lot. Take us to a show, whatever you need. And so John's walking me out the door. And he says, well, so you know that Randy has done the show, and you know that Jeff Blatnick has done the show, and you know that John McCarthy and Frank Sherman, and now you have done the show, and that's thanks to Doug Crosby. And now we need to do Doug a favor. Freddie says we need to do Doug a favor. I was like, okay, I don't know. You want to give him seats? You want to give him what do you want to do? What can I? How can I help you? And he said, well, he'd really like to be a judge. And I said, well, I mean, are you going to vouch for him? And John said, yes, I will vouch for him. And I said, okay, make him a judge. So we made him a judge. So that's how Doug Crosby gets into the UFC. I mean, once we got into New Jersey, Nevada, he had to be certified and go through all the process. So I don't mean to say